Welcome back everyone to a brand new episode of Pogo Bros. My name is ABC and I've got for you some exciting battles from the Sunshine Cup. Whew. And as you can see, it is really hot out here, but what better way to play the role of Sunshine Cup than playing in the great outdoors. First ever episode. Drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Show some love for your boy because it is hot out here and I'm doing this content for y'all. Blood, sweat, and tears, or at least sweat and not tears, but lots of sweat. Coming to the team now. What better way to beat the heat than two Pokemon that have ice coverage in this meta? It is very valuable. There's lots of grass types, lots of ground types, and lots of flying types too. And most importantly, it's fun to catch them off guard because these are Pokemon that they typically don't see. So you're going to see a lot of booms, and you're also going to see some high flying action. What do I mean by that? We've got Legacy Tsareena with high jump kick. That's right. You're not going to find this kind of content anywhere else. And don't sleep on Tsareena either, because we haven't seen anyone serve this many aces since Serena Williams. For all my tennis fans out there, let me know in the comments, because you're going to be the only ones who understood that joke. Anyways, rounding out the team, we've got the one and only shiny Spinda with Icy Wind. I could totally use an Icy Wind right about now. And then, of course, we got the crazy catfish in the back, Shadow Whiscash with some Scald. Definitely not the ice cold water that you would like, but water nonetheless. All right. And without further ado, let's get into these battles because it is so hot out here, so it's going to force me to be quick with my intros and my outros. Better for you guys. Anyways, let's get in the battles. Boom. All right, we got a gligar in the lead, which is fantastic because of the icy wind and how fast we get to them. Even better if the opponent doesn't know about it. So we're gonna see if they're aware. Nope. That does a lot of damage. Now we're gonna be taking less damage from their fast move and from the dig here. It only does about a quarter of our health at this point, so now we can go ahead and fire this next Icy Wind, see if the opponent wants to keep their gligar. Nope, they actually let it go. So now they have a Shadow Swampert in the back, and this is kind of, you know, not the best thing to see, but we're just going to let the Spinda go, and now we let the Magical Leaves go to work. Look at that. We are deleting this Swampert right now with these Magical Leaves. The opponent doesn't know what to do. We shield up the Sludge, and then they have a Cradily in the back. So unfortunately, it's an acid one, so we're just doing super effective damage in the fast move department, but we're able to force him to throw some energy here, and we're going to go ahead and shield this up because our attack is now back at normal because we buffed ourselves up, and now we're going to undo the debuff from the Rock Tomb. And look at this right here. Massive catch, catching the Rock Tomb on, and then the opponent makes a massive catch of their own. Very well played by them. We're going to hopefully outpace them to the next move. No, they're going to go ahead and throw the grass knot here to take us out, and now it's gonna be a race to the charge move. And if we can survive the acids, and yes we do, let's go. Is this enough? Boom! What a win to start off. GG's. All right, next battle, we got a Salazzle in the lead. Very spicy from the opponent. We're definitely gonna make sure we throw on good timing here. The opponent chooses not to throw on good timing, giving us a whole Cycle Cut, which is fantastic. Typically, Salazzle users are going to shield everything, so we're just gonna go for the Icy Wind. And they let it through really bad right here, but we know the opponent's move counts, and we're able to catch this Poison Fang onto our Whiscash. Fantastic. And then they come in with a licky now. So this is going to be a very tricky mid-game matchup. We go ahead and shield the Shadow Ball, so now we know what nuke they have, and that's also important information for us. So now, since we're out of shields, we kind of have to play this smart. We're going to throw on good timing here, but more importantly, we're going to misalign the switch clocks with the Mud Bomb here. And look at that. Did we just catch the Shadow Ball? Let's go! We ate that Shadow Ball up easily, and now we throw on good timing here, getting them down low, and we get a one Cycle Cut farm down, and that allows us to get to this Rock Tomb. Does the opponent know about the Rock Tomb? Boom! Let's go! We are absolutely deleting this team right now, and then we go for the double super effective Mud Shot down for the win. GG's. All right, now we have a Quagsire in the lead here. We're going to switch out and see what the opponent wants to do. We're going to go ahead and shield up this Aqua Tail to begin with, and then we're going to hope for a Scald debuff. That would be the ideal situation right here. Now that we've misaligned the switch clocks, we do get the attack fall at least. So now we can definitely tank these Aqua Tails much better than before. That hardly does any damage. Now we can overfarm here considerably. And you know what? We can even take another Aqua Tail here. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and overfarm ever so slightly. We do not want to take another one and have to give up our last shield. They let it through, and they've got a Nidoqueen, so they are really weak to the whiscash, it looks like, if they're coming in with a poison type here. And I'm realizing too late that these shadow poison stings are too strong, and it farms us down, which is unfortunate. No, actually, they're running poison. They have poison jab, so that's what I was thinking. I was expecting poison sting, but that's how they were able to farm. Blech. It's hot out here, and I'm forgetting how to speak. Sorry, guys. I was expecting the poison sting and they poison jabbed us down, but we were able to get to this move after shielding, taking out the Nidoqueen entirely, and then they have an Obstagoon in the back. So the question is if we can get to this move in time, and it looks like it, guys. You guys ready for this? Oh boy. Boom! Let's go! My water bottle popped at the same time too. Let's go. Alright, next match. Alright, so now we have a Jumpluff in the lead, and this is another fantastic lead for us, just like the Gligar. But they know about the Icy Wind this time, so they go ahead and bank their energy, and they hard swap into the Marshtomp, and we punish them with a Tsareena here. We were shielding up a potential Sludge right there, but they go ahead and bait us, so now they're going to go ahead and let us get that farm down, and now we have the triple axle for the Jumpluff. But they don't know about that one, and that does a lot of damage. So now their health is incredibly low at this point. We can tank one move here. And can we get to another before getting Fairy Winded down? Yes. So we go ahead and get their last shield, and it was a CMP tie. So Tsareena really popped off in this game, looking great. We let that through, and the opponent doesn't want that smoke. GG's. All right. All right, magcargo in the lead. We're going to make sure we throw on good timing here, see if they know about the Rock Tomb. And they do, but we're going to go ahead and catch this Rock Tomb from them. So now we're able to save the energy on the Spinda as well as the health and our shields, but they hard punish us with a Jumpluff. And yep, we called an Aerial Ace at this point. We're going to go ahead and hope that they think we have Blizzard. They do think so, so we do get a shield there. But now we're just going to start throwing these good because now the cat's out of the bag here. But we're able to fast swap into our Spinda and able to use that residual energy to get to the Icy Wind before they can get a move off here. We're going to go ahead and shield up this Acrobatics because it's still going to hurt a lot. And we're going to go ahead and use this remaining shield here on the magcargo. But that's fine because we're definitely going to outpace them to the next move here. And you might be wondering why I have Psycho Cut on the Spinda, when Sucker Punch might be the superior move technically in terms of energy generation and damage output. But for me, I think the Ice type is so valuable in this meta as well as Rock because of all the Magcargos and the Pidgeots and specifically the Talonflame, that I want to get to my moves as fast as I can because that's where the damage is being done here. So that's my logic in that. And it seems to be working out pretty well, it looks like here. So now we have a Cradily, and we are using this rapid pacing to get to these moves incredibly quickly, and we win the CMP tie. So now the opponent does waste their energy, but I thought we were done right there, but the opponent undercharged for whatever reason, and we do massive damage now with the Icy Wind, and it's a CMP tie, so they've wasted their energy too. So we take the Rock Tomb, and then we fast move them down for the win. GG's. I guess the opponent either went into cardiac arrest briefly, or the other option would be that they thought that we had energy on the Tsareena, so they wanted to undercharge it so that way they could have a move banked when we come in with our final Pokemon. But in that instance, though, I think the Tsareena would win CMP anyway, so it just really didn't make much sense, to be honest. But I'm not complaining. And speaking of not complaining, I'm definitely not complaining that we just caught another Rock Tomb on the whiscash here. That's going to be a trend in this video. And honestly, it doesn't get old to me. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and shield up this Trailblaze here, keeping our whiscash around. And we're going to go straight away for the Mud Bomb here to see what the opponent wants to do. They are not interested in keeping their Furret around, so we get a nice little farm down here and having taken switch advantage. And they have a Decidueye, and we bail quickly into the Spinda here. And I think we threw on bad timing, unfortunately, right there. Very bad, but anyways, the opponent comes now in with their Magcargo here, and we're going to go ahead and shield this up. We want to keep the Spinda around before applying that debuff. So we're going to go ahead and get this Rock Tomb off. Unfortunately, it'll do less damage than normal because of that. And for that reason, we're not able to farm them down here, or just having taken them out before. But that's fine, because now we can go ahead and get some energy on the Tsareena here. And we luckily do not lag, so that incinerate did not register. And I imagine the worst that we get here is a Spirit Shackle. But they got Brave Bird and take us out. Jeez. Okay, so really bad. We just kind of threw this game right here. Oh my. I thought the Scald took them out, but it didn't. They survived on 1 HP in a dream. GG's. Alright. Alright, now that we got that loss out of the system, we're going to go ahead and come in this next matchup here. Whew, with this Shadow Gligar here. And we do lose CMP, which is fine because we shielded up the Aerial Ace. But knowing this, the opponent's probably going to want to do CMP again. So this time we hold on to our energy and we get a free Psycho Cut. And we can definitely take this Aerial Ace, and they come in with a Typhlosion. Do they know about the Rock Tomb? They do not. Look at that damage right there. And we get the farm down too. And then we have energy to boot with this Gligar right here. So now we're going to go ahead and get that final shield here. And we're going to go into the Crazy Catfish now. We can definitely tank any move here. Even a Dig, which is... Oh, they actually go for an Aerial Ace. But now we overfarm ever so slightly. But unfortunately, they do get to the next move. So now we take another Aerial Ace. And at this point, I'm just throwing because... these Fury Cutters are going to add up. We do take out the Gligar, and we do have enough HP to get to this Mud Bomb against the Magcargo. Shiny Magcargo, too. GG's. Alright. That opponent's name was Outsider, and look, we're outside. Funny. Alright, so this is one instance where we would definitely prefer to have Sucker Punch, because we would be doing super effective damage with our fast move rather than resisted Psycho Cuts, which already do very little damage, but... we do make up for that by getting a great catch on the whiscash of yet another Rock Tomb, this time from the Clay Doll. So the Magcargo isn't the only one in the doghouse right now. However, we do want to shield up this move right here from the Barrel. I still have not recovered from getting Hyper Beamed in the Hisui Cup. I've woken up in a cold sweat as opposed to the very warm sweat that I have right now because of the Hyper Beam from the Barrel. But anyways, the opponent goes for Hyper Fang again on the Tsareena here, so we do take some significant damage. And then they have a Golurk, and they do shield the Triple Axle, and look at these magical leaves. That is crazy. It almost takes them out. But they are loaded up on energy right now, so I assume they're going to throw the Dynamic Punch because they've only seen Spinda. And we do survive the Dynamic Punch, and now we go in for the farm down. One Dynamic Punch would have taken out like 10 Spindas right there. So we have energy now for this Clay Doll here, and luckily we do have a shield in order to hide behind. But now that this Rock Tomb landed, now we're going to probably not be able to take them out with this Icy Wind here. But because we have the pacing on that Icy Wind with Psycho Cut, we're able to get to the move, don't even need to bubble nothing. We are good to go. GG's. Alright. Now we have an Obstagoon in the lead. Very bad for us, so we're going to save swap into the Tsareena here, and they hard punish with a Pidgeot. But again, the ice coverage is so valuable here because they do not know about that, and we do some valuable damage to them. Unfortunately, we won't be able to farm them down because Psycho Cut sucks in terms of damage, but we're going to go ahead and shield up the Feather Dance so that way we get off this next move here. We take their shield, and more importantly, we're doing still considerable fast move damage with our magical leaves, even though it's resisted and accumulate in total 1 debuff. We get a massive Mud Shot down, double resisted, so we have tons of energy to go into this Obstagoon now. They go ahead and shield it, but we get the attack drop, which is great news for us. Now we can just let this move come through, and they actually have Obstruct. So we are going up against an Obstructagoon right now, and we definitely want to get this out of the way before the Spinda sees it ever again. So we're definitely going to shield this up because our defense is dropped, and luckily we did because they were going for the nuke, the cross chop. That would have taken us out, unfortunately, so we do shield that up. And then they have a Stunfisk in the back, so this is pretty much GG's. And we're going to go ahead and get this Mud Bomb off, doing about half of their health, and this Icy Wind will definitely be curtains for them. They can go ahead and throw this Discharge. It only does about a quarter of our health before even debuffing them, so we are looking great right now, and my mouth is really dry, and the opponent has had enough. Alright, we got a Lurantis in the lead here. Definitely where we want to see it. So we're going to go ahead and get this Icy Wind off, and the opponent actually lets it through, so that does over 50% of their health. We do not want to take a superpower or even a single debuff Leaf Blade, so I'm fine with them even baiting right there. We tried to catch a Leaf Blade right there, but they held onto their energy. But the worst they can do here is a debuff superpower, and then they switch out, and they go into a Swampert. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? That's crazy. Look at how much these Magical Leafs are doing, and look how much they're doing right now. I'm shielding up because they might have another Mud Boy in the back. So we go ahead and do that, and we farm them down. And what do they have? They got a Stunfisk in the back, so this is fantastic. We're going to go ahead and get the final shield here, and look at these Magical Leafs doing what looks like double super effective damage to a Pokemon that only takes super effective damage from them. So we've taken out about a third of their health, and then they try to switch real quick into the Lurantis, but we are luckily just as fast on the swap, and we go ahead and snipe them with the Icy Wind, and that's all she wrote. GG's. All right, we got Shadow Swampert in the lead. With this, we're definitely going to want to throw right away. It's a very tricky situation. Swampert wins CMP, so that was very good of them to let us get the first move off, but we still want to shield up this Hydro Cannon. It'll do a lot of damage, and we get the catch because the opponent doesn't know that we lose CMP, and that still does a lot of damage. But anyways, they come in now with a Superior, and we do get to the Triple Axle, doing massive damage, and that was a CMP tie, so that was perfect case scenario right there. Perfect case scenario, whatever. Best case scenario. And now we come in, and we're going to go ahead and do the Icy Wind here after overfarming considerably, and they do shield that up, so now we're going to go ahead and shield up a Frenzy Plant because that would still hurt a lot, but now we can overfarm massively here because we still know that the Shadow Swampert has health. So we want to make sure that we have energy on all times on our Spinda here. And they come in now with a Clodsire, so we are definitely going to get this early debuff and super effective damage. And I tried to catch maybe a Sludge Bomb or a Stone Edge, and it didn't work out. So the opponent throws regardless, so we'll happily take a debuff move. But now the Swampert comes back in, and they still got a shield, so this is looking kind of scary. They give us that last shield, but we farm them down a little too much. Like, we either take them out or leave some farm for us, because we were one cycle cut short of getting the back-to-back Icy Wins, which is what we needed to win. So the opponent gets a very close win. GG's. All right, chance for redemption here with the Shadow Swampert in the lead. This opponent decides to throw right away, and they know that they win CMP, and they know that we know that they win CMP. So this maybe will play out a little differently, but they actually switch out immediately into the Gligar, which actually makes no sense whatsoever because they know that we have Icy Wind, but I am not complaining. We get that last shield, and now that we've debuffed them, I am totally fine with switching out now into the Whiscash. This opponent can throw their energy. It does not matter. They actually get to another move, but I do not think that they built up to the dig. Actually, they did. So now at this point, we have little farm left. So once we go ahead and throw off the Scald and it takes them out completely, their Swampert doesn't get as much farm as it could have gotten, which is totally fine, because now we have the Tsareena in the back, and they've decided to throw an alignment too, so we can go ahead and shield this up, and they cannot get to another move. And then they have a Flygon in the back, and now this is when the ice coverage will be valuable. Boom! Let's go! And then we farm down the Swampert. GG's. Ah, oh, love it. Love that coverage. Fighting in ice and grass. Ooh, chef's kiss. Whew. All right, so now this is the second to last matchup here. We are going to throw this triple axle here. I imagine the opponent shields because they don't know our moves, but they actually let it through. So at this point, I'm like, okay, we just gotta trust the process and go for this full farm down here and hope that Tsareena with energy can beat an opponent with 2 shields. And then they have an Obstagoon, and we're just gonna full send. Do they know about the high jump kick? Oh man, that would have been amazing. Too bad it didn't happen, but that is okay because we still got some considerable fast move damage off with the magical leaves here. So now we're just going to go ahead and go with Scald into this very huge Licky, by the way. That thing is massive. We're going to go ahead and throw our energy as soon as we can because we don't know what nuke move they have. Let's see. No! That Solar Beam would have taken out like 30 Whiscashes right there, I swear. And what better way to celebrate Sunshine Cup by getting blasted by a Solar Beam? the script writes itself sometimes, I swear. This is not looking very good, but I'm fine with losing to someone running Solar Beam, Licky Licky, and someone's doing some yard work right now, so hopefully you can still hear me. Anyways, they're going to go ahead for their Night Slash, and they're going to knock us out. GG's. All right, into the final match. Cradily in the lead, and this is a Bullet Seed Cradily, and oh man. All right, guys, let's just power through this last battle here. They throw the Rock Tomb, and they threw it on bad timing, so that allows us to get a free Psycho Cut. And when they do that, we outpace them to the next 2 Icy Winds here. So, of course, we show up the first move, and then we're going to go ahead and just start ripping these Icy Winds off here. We get the first one, and we've debuffed them twice now. So, so now we can tank any of their moves here. So we're going to bank the energy because we were double debuffed here. And now we're going to go ahead for this move. Boom! Let's go! High jump kick. Let's go! Totally worth it now for the Elite TM. Let's go! And then we get the triple axle on the CMP tie. So Tsareena is popping off right now. This is forcing me to be loud. And we get the far now with Spinda. And the opponent has checked out of the hotel. Look at that. They have force closed the out. It is a dance party right now with Spinda. We get the move off. And I would farm them down, but it would take too long with Psycho Cut. So we're just going to have to go for another dance party here. Let's go. G's to the G to the double triple G. Let's go. All right, guys, those are all the battles I got for you. Sorry for the noise pollution at the end, but that's what happens when you are out here in the element, and that is why I am sweating. But you guys are all worth the effort here. That is what the content creation is all about. Thank you for watching. I wanted to do a shorter video for you guys today, so I'm going to wrap this one up nicely. But if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. And if you're not new, thanks for supporting me. Please like and comment. And we're almost at 250 subs, so let's get there. But it's hot out here, and I'm going to go take a shower, so peace.